Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing, I actually have no idea what I'm calling this yet, but basically I'm doing this video because I woke up this morning absolutely exhausted. I got the worst night's sleep last night because me and my best friend were up until past 5 in the morning watching the first season of Gossip Girl. This is my life. So because of that, I was miserably exhausted all day today, running on a few hours of sleep and just dragging my lifeless body, just miserable. And so when it came time to filming, I was like, no, this is gonna be so hard because it takes many hours to film sometimes. And I tweeted you guys about how tired I was, and someone tweeted me back telling me that I should do a video of how to look more fresh and awake when you're exhausted. And I was like, yes, I love it. So I typically don't just like randomly do a video like spur of the moment like this. I usually like know what I'm gonna do like 24 hours in advance, but I figured why not? So I sat down in front of the camera, did my hair, did my makeup, got dressed. Well, I didn't get dressed on camera. This isn't that kind of video. Even if you don't want to do this exact makeup look, I will give you tips that will work for everybody, all skin tones, all eye colors, all that jazz, that will guarantee you to look more fresh and awake on a daily basis. Some of these things are just common sense and some are makeup artist tips, and I will list all of the tips that I have for you guys down below. I'll link it in my description bar. That way, in case I want to tell you something that I didn't mention in the video, you can go ahead and read that read that list for yourself to look more fresh and awake on a daily basis. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
So first step in looking good is cleansing your skin. And you want to make sure that you really rinse your face well in the morning, because when you're tired, your skin can get very dehydrated, and this will help with that. Also, turn your water on all cold when you get towards the end, and use cold water on the face, because that will really help waken you up, and it will also help waken up the skin as well. Then I'm going to moisturize my skin. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to moisturize your face. It's going to help your makeup lay so beautifully, and it's going to also hydrate the skin, making it plumper and more awake. I also use an eye cream day and night. Just make sure that it's not too thick and creamy, otherwise it can interfere with your concealer. Then I'm going to take some freezing cold spoons and put it on my under eye bags. Yes, this works. You pop 2 spoons in the freezer. You can leave them in there for 10-15 minutes, or you can leave them in there overnight. Put them on your under eye area, and it will seriously not only wake you up, but truly depuff that under eye area. Then I'm going to go in with Rodo's eye drops. These are extremely cooling and chilling. They feel like you're in the Arctic, and these literally like give your eyes a zing and you feel completely awake. Then I'm going to go in with the Evian mineral water and just spray that on my face. And with these steps, you are literally like ready to conquer the day. Yep, got to do it one more time. Felt too good not to go on. Yep, bing, 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 connect the dots. So cute. I am going to be using Bare Minerals Bare Skin Foundation, and I'm going to be applying that with a Makeup Geek foundation brush. I'm using 3 to 4 drops for my entire face. I have never used a foundation where so little goes so far, if that makes sense. This is kind of a dewy foundation on me personally, and on days where you're tired, you really want to use a foundation that's hydrating. It can be as full coverage or sheer as you want, but a hydrating foundation is really going to help make you look fresh and awake, as opposed to a matte foundation can sometimes make you look a little bit older and then actually weigh down the skin. I am so falling asleep right now, not even gonna lie. Now I'm going to go in under my eye area and just correct and conceal. It looks like I'm applying a lot. Well, that's because I am applying a lot. But this concealer is on the sheer side, so when I blend it out, it's not going to be as intense. But I am going to go over the eyelid area and under eye area using a damp beauty blender, because in real life, I truly am exhausted as I'm filming this. And so I'm taking all the steps that I take when I am exhausted. And using a damp beauty blender really helps make that under eye area not look dry or crepey like it can get when you're tired. Now I'm going to highlight the face. I would typically use my MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Light Boost, but I'm currently out of that. So instead, I'm trying out the YSL Touche Eclat Radiant Touch, and I have to say, it's really not that big of a difference. But I'm just highlighting the points of my face that I want to bring light to, and this is going to help us look much more fresh and again, awake by highlighting. I am blending that out again with a damp beauty blender, because having it damp and that water in that sponge is going to help press in more moisture and hydrate our skin, and that is all we're looking for when we're tired is hydration, hydration, hydration. Then I'm going to set my under eye concealer. You don't have to do this, but it is a personal must for me because my concealer will move no matter what concealer it is if I do not set my under eye area. So I'm using the Anastasia Contour Kit in the banana shade, and then I'm also using Emphasize by MAC Pro. I will link all of that good stuff down below. Now I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in the shade Toast. Using a Sigma fluffy brush, I'm going to take this all over in that crease area. Using a shade like this is going to bring dimension to the eye without being too intense or overboard, and it's going to really help make you look more awake and make those eyes look more open. Then I'm going to jump in with a new Milani eyeshadow in the shade Bella Cappuccino. I'm going to use a smaller, more dense brush for this part, and I'm going to really focus this on that outer corner. Putting that darker shade out there is going to give me more depth again and more dimension and bring more attention to the eyes. Then I'm going to go in with another Milani eyeshadow in Bella Champagne. And I'm using my fingers because I was just over brushes. I was exhausted and I was just not feeling it. So I'm using my fingers to apply this shade all over the lid area. And I'm also going to jump in with L'Oreal Iced Latte and just put a pop of that right in that inner corner because it's super, super shimmery. And this will really help bring tons of attention to that eye area and really waken you up. If you are more mature and you don't want to use shimmer, I always suggest MAC Mylar eyeshadow. It's beautiful. Then I'm just going to fill in my brows, nothing special, and comb them out as always. I'm going to go in with MAC Shroom eyeshadow because this is my personal favorite highlight of all time, and I'm going to highlight that brow bone area, and then I'm also going to highlight my inner corner. You could use the L'Oreal Iced Latte, but for me personally, it's a little too chunky for an underbrow and inner corner highlight. I like those highlights to be very fine in shimmer and very glowy with no chunkiness whatsoever. Then I'm going to curl my lashes. You can use whatever lash curler you have, but this is a very important step in making yourself look awake. Taking your lashes and bringing them upward is going to make the eyes appear larger and bigger, therefore more awake. Then I'm going to coat the lashes with Maybelline Pumped Up Colossal. I'm going to go in with 2 coats, and I usually let the lashes dry for about 1 minute in between coats. I'm clearly feeling more awake. It's working, people. Then I'm going to go in with Bella Cafe. This is another Milani eyeshadow. I got a little happy at the drugstore, okay? Then I'm just going to buff this on the whole lower lash line area. A lot of times people get nervous to do this, but doing this will actually help you look more awake. Leaving that under eye area blank can actually do the reverse and make them look more squinty, therefore more tired. Then I'm going to coat that inner waterline with this NARS Rue Bonaparte, I believe, and it's just a creamy white, and it's going to make the eyes open up even more. Using a stark white can be a little too much, so I always love using a creamy one. Then putting that mascara on the bottom, as you can see, it just finishes it off and makes the eyes look much bigger. Then I'm going to go in with MAC Care Blend Powder in the shade Medium Deep. This is technically a face powder. I've talked about it tons of times before, but it's one of my favorite ways to bronze the skin of all time. And I'm going to buff that out with a big old blending brush. But first, I did do a little contour action with the Makeup Geek contour brush. I'm not sure what it's called exactly, but I will link it down below. Then I'm going to go in with the Hourglass, what is this, Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light, and a tapered highlighting brush from Sigma, and I'm going to put that all over the cheekbone area. Once I have it on the cheek area, I'll also touch it on the chin, Cupid's bow, the very top of the nose, very, very, very lightly. You do not want to bring too much attention. And the center of the forehead if you're not oily. And then I'm going to go in with a blush from Becca, and this is Flower Child. It is such a beautiful pink. I really recommend using a pink tone blush when you are feeling tired because it'll make your cheeks just glow and make you look more awake and fresh as opposed to using just bronzer or something more coral. I am going to go in with Urban Decay Native Lipstick, which is just a beautiful nude baby pinkish. And then I'm going to go over it with this Girl Lactic Lip Gloss that I am obsessed with right now, and yet I don't know the name of the color, so I will link it down below, but as you can see, it's gorgeous. Using a lip gloss when you're trying to make yourself look more fresh and awake is very important because it reflects the light off of the lips and therefore makes you look a little bit more feminine and awake. I'm going to just take a tiny little Sigma liner brush and just barely coat that lash line with some black gel liner. I'm not actually lining the eyes. I'm just putting some of this liner in those lashes just again to bring a little bit more dimension. I'm going to set everything with Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. This will help everything look much more natural. Now I'm going to quickly just do my hair. There were so many requests for a hair tutorial in my last video, so I figured that I would just show you how I did it because it's so stinking simple. My hair is naturally straight, but if I have any kinks from it being up in a bun, I'll just quickly straighten it out. I am using my Bellamy hair straightener. I will link it down below. Then I'm just grabbing a section of my hair, and as you can see, I'm not doing the greatest at it. It kind of is hurting me. And then I'm just going to grab the pieces around that entire face area, pull it back over top of the ears. This is really a moment where you can decide how much you want personally. In my last video, I didn't pull this much back, but today I switched it up a little bit. I was just feeling a little crazy. I'm going to clip half of it back just to get it out of the way. And then that front half that I have right there, all I'm going to do is just lightly tease it just to give this section a little bit of body, but I don't want it to be like ba-boom. I just want it to have a little bit of body in the front of that head, in the front of that fat head, in the front of my head. And then I'm just going to go ahead and twisty tie it back like that. Then I will just tighten it so that it comes up a little bit higher on the head. Then I grab a random piece of hair from right underneath of it and I wrap. That way you can't see that twisty tie, because sometimes that's just not a cute look. And this just is an easier way to make it look a little bit cuter without having to try too hard. I bobby pin that baby down and we are good to go. This totally reminds me of my Flintstones. I call it my Flintstones hairdo, but what can you say? I just threw on a more colorful t-shirt because wearing color in your wardrobe or your accessories in any way is going to help you look a little bit more fresh and awake. It brings attention to you in a positive way. It makes you look a little bit more youthful and playful. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.